What is up, guys? This is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Mode channel. On point reviews all day, every day. Welcome back yet again, everybody. If you are one of my old subscribers, it's great to see you guys yet again. Welcome back. It's another great video. It's a beautiful weekend. And if you are new to the channel, if this is the first time you've seen any of my videos, please make sure to hit like and subscribe, because this is just one of many videos where I do answer a lot of your curiosities on fragrances. Now, this fragrance we're gonna talk about today is super mega hyped. Super mega hyped, guys. This fragrance is always out of stock, and people are buying insane backup bottles of this fragrance. We're talking about 3 or 4. I saw somebody buy 9 backup bottles of this fragrance. And I mean, I've never bought a backup bottle of anything. So for me to fathom that, it's kind of like, wow, you're buying 9 backup bottles of this thing. The hype train is real. Now, this fragrance is none other than Dua Fragrances Royal Elixir, guys. Royal Elixir is also dubbed as one of the greatest Dua fragrances of all time. Some people say it's the greatest in their collection period. Now, there are a lot of really confusing data about Royal Elixir, so I will debunk a lot of them, guys. You can say that this is a definitive review more than a no hype review. One of those curiosities that I had once I found out about Royal Elixir is that, you know, for being one of the greatest duas of all time, there's not many reviews about it. There's only one from Cubano stating that it's one of his favorite duas ever, and I believe he made a comparison with Erba Pura, which made me really curious because I'm a Xerjoff guy. And then you have another review that was like, what, 3-4 years ago from the OG bottle, because there was an OG bottle of Royal Elixir, and that's it. There's really not a lot. I mean, maybe there are others, but I couldn't find anything, guys. Even on the internet, like, there's only like 1 or 2 blog posts about Royal Elixir, but nevertheless, it's still, you know, always sold out and always hyped up. The other thing that made me curious was that this was compared to many things. There's Erba Pura. Cubano said that there was an Erba Pura vibe. There are a bunch of guys that are saying it has an Aventus vibe. And then, of course, you have a lot of people too saying that it has a designer vibe, that it smells like a designer. I've seen comparisons made to Azaro by Night, Paco Rabanne 1 million, and Mont Blanc. It's just a lot of designers people are comparing to this fragrance. With all of this data together, I mean, I really was so hyped up to get this. I made it a mission to find out what this fragrance was gonna be like. And to be honest, it's really not that hard, guys, to find Royal Elixir. I know that it's always sold out, but here's the thing about hype, guys, okay? When hype happens, remember that is always before the product arrives. But 99%, guys, when the product arrives and you finally get it, you unbox it, you go through the process of being so excited, and you spray it. Or, you know, let's say it's even like a shoe, like I just bought the latest Yeezys right here. Once you open it, it depends now what happens from there, okay? Like, it depends if the hype continues after you've seen the product, you've tried the product on, and sometimes it doesn't work that way. For some people, the hype gets killed the moment they see it in person, right? When the package arrives, they unbox it, they look at it, they spray it, and then it's like, oh, okay, it's not exactly what I thought. That's really the beauty of this community, is that you've got that diversity where you have people that actually will decide and will say, well, you know what, it's really not for me, or it's not what I expected, and they'll go sell it. Does that mean the fragrance is bad? No, it's just not, you know, attuned to their taste. And one thing I did find out about this fragrance, Dua Royal Elixir, is that there's a good amount of people that are also, you know, sort of 50-50 with this fragrance, and they actually decided to sell it or let go of their bottles. So I was very lucky to get a Royal Elixir bottle same day I looked for it. So a member of the Dua group actually sold this Royal Elixir bottle to me at a really good price. He didn't jack up the price, or, you know, he didn't say, well, this is a sold out bottle, so let me, you know, increase the price. He gave it to me at a very good price, shipped it immediately, and then that's how I got it. So I think it's not a problem. If you guys aren't a member of the Facebook group of Dua, I think that you should, if you are chasing fragrances like Royal Elixir, because there will always be somebody that will be, you know, trying to sell something like this. Okay, let's go into the scent breakdown right now, guys. Okay, but before that, let's go spray this thing right now. Woo! Amazing. So real quick update about myself. Nowadays, I do have a full-time job, and what that means is that I'm starting to lean towards designer fragrances or fragrances that are grabbers. All right, that's kind of where I'm at. I do have a vast collection of niche, but because of, you know, my job, which is, you know, pretty much a huge amount of my week, I do look into these grabbers because, well, they're needed for the job. It's really, really interesting because I feel like some people start with designer and then they graduate to niche and then they kind of just stay there. But in my case, I kind of went from designer graduating to niche to like looking for these designer-ish grabbers right here. My taste is more on the warm and spicy type, okay? So recently, like I told you guys, I have been wearing Kajal Homme 2. Then you have the Dolce & Gabbana Luminous Night full bottle as well that I have. And like I told you guys, they might be totally different, but they're kind of in the same vein, as in warm, spicy, gentlemanly. Not really freshies, guys, because in my opinion, freshies, there's like a lot of them. You know, it's like a dime a dozen. There's a ton of freshies out there, and I really believe that if you do want to look fresh, you can look fresh. You know, you can wear an outfit that denotes freshness, but in my opinion, like for a grabber, what I really like is warm, spicy with a little bit of that sweetness. And shockingly, Dua's Royal Elixir falls into that category, okay? So I will say this, that the fragrance has this warming trend. It has a warming trend from start to finish, guys. I'm gonna break down everything for you. It has a warming trend. It's got a spicy and sweet nuance to it as well, which is very, very nice. And again, the moment I sprayed this, my first impression was like, oh my gosh, now I have a third bottle. Now I have one, and then I have two, and then this is three. Now the interesting part while I was trying this is that I felt like the notes really didn't match the website. Like I felt like there were a lot of missing notes that I was picking up. I even messaged Masam, and I know he's busy, he couldn't really answer it right now. But the thing is, I was smelling these other notes. Now it turns out, guys, that there were some other notes, and they were pasted at the back of the old bottle of Royal Elixir back in the day. I don't know how many years ago, but there were a lot of additional notes. That could be another reason why there weren't many reviews. Maybe a lot of these reviewers were smelling it and were afraid to be like, well, people might think I'm crazy by saying I smell this or I smell that. Well, it's not listed on the website. But thankfully, I found out that formula, and I really think that it's still the same formula here in this new bottle right here. Now let's go into the top notes, guys, and the big one is smoky pineapple. Smoky pineapple, guys. And the interesting thing is that I had just talked about a $600 perfume called Serjoff Purple Accento, and I said that the pineapple there was a curved, warming pineapple, more of like a dried pineapple. And this one here is quite similar with a bit of that smokiness. I'm guessing it's an accord, guys, but you are going to get a curve, a warming curve, like I told you guys from the beginning. Smoky pineapple is the first note, and it is predominant. You're gonna smell it, you're gonna like it. It is not your juicy, fruity pineapple. It's definitely a curve. It immediately tells you this is a gentlemanly, warming scent with that smoky pineapple. Now the next couple of notes are going to come in, and that's your grapefruit and your clary sage. And clary sage is a big one. I think those two are a big part of Royal Elixir right here. And I think, in my opinion, these two are the most designer-ish parts, okay? These are the most designer-ish parts of this entire fragrance. Your clary sage and your grapefruit, guys, okay? So once you smell this, it's really gonna take you back to, I don't know, a bunch of designers that have your citrus aromatic feel. It's gonna come out, it's gonna be there for maybe around 30 to 35 minutes, I would say, this clary sage grapefruit combination. And I'm just guessing that this one right here is the reason why some people actually sell it. Okay, because it can't be the smoky pineapple. The smoky pineapple to me is amazing, and I think that, you know, from mid to dry is amazing. But I think the most questionable part, the most 50-50 part here is definitely the grapefruit and clary sage. It's definitely super designer-ish. Once you smell this and you smell the grapefruit and the aromatic clary sage, is really gonna remind you of a bunch of old gen scents, maybe cheap, maybe normal, but For me, that's what it was. It was very designer-ish at that point. And so I believe you guys that there are a bunch of designer comparisons just because of this one combination. And the Clary Sage actually does stand out. On a positive note, that combination of grapefruit and Clary Sage does add something different, because I told you guys the trend here is warming. Okay, it's warming from the smoky pineapple, and it ends with another warming touch with your suede in the end, with your cinnamon, with your tonka. But the citrus aromatic, that grapefruit and Clary Sage, does pop out right in the beginning. So it's actually a nice disruption from the usual trend. And so I think it's nice. I think it's nice that it's included here. I'm just saying that you're really gonna get that designer vibe because of this 1-2 punch combination. Now, like I said before, I classified this fragrance, Royal Elixir, as warming and spicy, and that's because there are 2 other notes here that's listed on the original formula bottle. Is not on this bottle, but I think it's there. It's definitely some cardamom and some coriander right here, guys, okay? So there's some cardamom spice, sweet spice of cardamom with that coriander. It's playing in the background. It basically continues from your smoky pineapple. That warming smoky pineapple continues on into cardamom spice with coriander, guys, okay? Now, with the few reviews that are out there, those people have said that this fragrance is fruity. Okay, it's fruity. And in my opinion, guys, that's because you are going to get an interesting fruity accord right here, and that's called Pomerose. Okay, and I was wondering what the heck Pomerose was, and I looked into it, I researched it. It's actually a synthetic fruity accord that smells like a combination of plum, raisins, and apples. It's not gonna be the fruitiness that you're gonna think about, like berries or anything real tart, you know. It's basically plum and raisins. It's like dried fruits yet again. And that's why I told you guys, it falls in line with this one. Remember when I reviewed this one, Luminous Night? I bought it because part of the mid was the dates, the dried fig-like fruit smell that Luminous Night has. Well, that's what it has here too. It's got some plum, it's got some apple, and it's got some raisins. Sort of like that dried fruit sweet smell yet again. And that's why I can understand why Cubano said that, you know, the violet here isn't as prominent. And that's because of this Pomerose, because you have this interesting plum, raisin, apple, fruity accord here, guys. It's not gonna be the fruity that you know. It's definitely a curved, more like a dried fruit type scent that goes actually with your violet. Now, the best part here in Royal Elixir 100% is the mid to dry down, starting from that Pomerose. As it goes towards the dry down, you're going to get your cinnamon. All right, so more cinnamon spice, sweet, spicy, and it does come in here. It's matched with some nutmeg and some precious woods, so it gets woodier and spicier towards the base. You have some slight patchouli right here. You have tonka bean, and then you have a suede accord, guys. All right, so I like the way that the suede accord is actually not so strong here, because sometimes when you overdo the suede accord, like, I don't really like it. This one right here has a mild, warming suede accord that goes with the sweetness of the tonka bean. Again, it's pretty straightforward, guys. Towards the end, it's sweet, it's spicy, it's woody. That's what you're gonna get here with Royal Elixir. I think it's the best part right here, okay? I think that from the mid to the dry down, you actually forget the designer vibes, all right? The designer vibes that the Clary Sage had, it kind of disappears, and then it becomes this real nice fragrance that I think even niche-wise, this can compete with because of this combination. Overall, I think that this fragrance is a gentlemanly scent, guys, okay? And again, towards the warming and spicy side, all right? So this is not a bright, you know, beamer type fragrance, you know. This isn't like your Mod 3. This is definitely, like I said, in line with warm, spicy, sexy. Definitely something that any gentleman could wear, you know, whether it's a casual occasion or whether it's date night or, you know, going out. I think that this is fine. And when I think about Royal Elixir right here, sometimes I do think about the name Royal Oud from Creed, guys, okay? Which is not the same as Royal Elixir, but I like how Royal Oud was like a gentlemanly fragrance that was pretty balanced, and I feel like Royal Elixir is in the same vein. I definitely am glad that I have this, and for me, it's a rotational fragrance. Believe it or not, I have been wearing this every day. Every day since I got it, okay? Primarily to decipher it, but at the same time, like I really wanted to feel what everybody was feeling. You know, a lot of people really liked it. I wore it every single day to work. I am gonna say though that this fragrance is not a beast, okay? This one right here is not a beast. In my opinion, this one really has your standard, really good duo projection. I think it lasts long, probably like 6 hours, but it doesn't go into like 24 hours or anything crazy like that. In my opinion, guys, it's 6 hours of consistent sillage, and then after that, it kind of, you know, subsides a little bit. And again, not everybody will like this fragrance, and that's why I made this definitive video, so you guys can understand what this fragrance is about before you know, get into all the hype, guys. I think this is a good man grabber, okay? I think it's a really good man grabber, guys. I don't think it really should be hyped to this degree because, to be honest, like I said, there are other perfumes that fall into the same category, and maybe that's why a lot of you guys like it, because you probably have perfumes in your collection that resemble Royal Elixir, and so maybe that's what you guys like. And we do know that there's a huge amount of the population that are into designer scents. And the thing about designer scents, guys, is that a lot of them are really so similar to each other. One time I went to an Ulta while my wife was shopping, and I tried all of these designer scents one after the other, and by the end, guys, I really could not differentiate these fragrances, okay? I had a bunch of these tester strips and I didn't know which one was the Sauvage or which one was the John Varvatos or which one was the Mont Blanc. I was just like, man, they all kind of smell the same, guys. And so if you really like designer scents, I think without a doubt this will be another addition to your collection. Smells kind of designer-ish, but like I said before, there are other really good highlights about this. Your smoky pineapple as well as the mid to dry down combination. This one is warming, this one is sweet, this one is spicy, this one is fruity, but only to a certain degree, okay? It's not your berry, your juniper berry, raspberry type fruits, okay, guys? This is basically your pomerose with your violet, okay? So it's plum, apples, raisins, sort of that dried fruit feel to match the curve of this fragrance, that warming curve. The fruitiness just basically matches it. This one is anytime, anywhere, guys, okay? Even though this has your warming notes, guys, the thing is, because of its designer-ish feel with the warm and spicy, you can definitely wear this anywhere, okay? Anytime, anywhere. Maybe in an AC environment if you live in a really, really hot country, maybe in an AC environment. But to me, right now, springtime, I wear this anytime I go out. So that is it. That is my review on Duo Fragrances Royal Elixir. I try to be as definitive as possible to clarify a bunch of things that you're probably curious about with this fragrance. Let me know in the comments what you think about this fragrance. Did you think that this was the best duo of all time? Is it the greatest in your collection? Or did you guys think that it was kind of 50-50? You sold it? Let me know as well in the comments. I would love to read them because, man, it took me a few days to really bring the review together as I was getting a bunch of feedback from everybody too. And I'm really happy I finally made the review. I'm headed back to work. Enjoy your Duo Fragrances. Check out the Duo Fragrances playlist at the end. I will link it, and I'll see you guys soon. God bless. Take care.